Today, I'm going to be remaking your guys' designs from scratch. You guys sent me some absolute banger designs over on Instagram, and I picked 3 of my favorites. Now, can I actually make them better, or will I completely ruin them? There's only one way to find out.
Never let you go.
First up, we have this Mbappé graphic sent in by Vlad Design Studios. I love this rooftop composition with the city in the back, so we'll definitely work with that. And yeah, let's get into it. Starting off, we're going to drop in our background city of France. Once we get into position, we're going to drop in these 2 buildings that are actually from the original graphic. Next up, we have our picture of Mbappé. I wanted him facing outwards like he's overlooking the city. And for this balcony, we're actually going to create it completely custom. So if we do a little curb here just by adding a rectangle, duplicate it, make another curb, and then we're going to add our wall right below this first one, and then we're going to add a concrete texture for the floor directly below him. I'm going to add some shadows on the bottom of this curb. They usually have these like sharp shadows and highlights when it's like a rectangular object like this. And our next step is cutting out our city so we can add our own custom sky. This is the sky I went with right here. We're going to add some shadows and highlights onto this sky. Here we are adding some shadows and then some highlights. Next, if we add some haze to this city, it should really make it look more distant. And I want to add some glow in between the city to give it more of a vibrant pop. So we're going to be adding this orange glow in between all the layers in the city just like this. And this is our final product after adding all that glow. Now I'm dropping in the Eiffel Tower. Gonna go ahead and get it blended and add the glow to it. Next, we're gonna blend our balcony. So just throwing a hue and saturation over it, making it darker and desaturated, and then adding in custom shadows. And now we're gonna desaturate both of our buildings here that are not yet blended. So again, same story, hue and saturation, then shadows, and then highlights. I did want these windows to be glowing, so I just added a little glow effect on each of these windows. And I found this little French flag hanging line thing, I don't know what it's called, but looks pretty cool, it adds a little bit of depth to our image. And this was actually a comment on my live stream that told me to add this. Next, we're going to be blending Mbappé, and we can take the same hue and saturation from our other layers, and basically the same story. We're going to add more detailed shadows, and then more detailed highlights, really getting around all the crevices in his jersey and everything. After that, we're going to add some more orange glow on this ledge, because this will really affect the player and the lighting on him. So we can add this orange highlight onto him now. Now for the feet shadows, we can just duplicate, flip horizontal, and add some perspective. After that, we just add some blur and then make it black, lower the opacity, and there we are for his feet shadows. So I sped up this next part, we're just adding some details. So we added some graffiti, French flag, and just added some more glows and everything. Also, the original graphic had these pizza boxes and his trophies, so we're gonna add those as well. Now we're adding in those extra 3D elements right here. All it's going to be is just adding them in and blending them. There we go. Now we're adding a little bit of extra elements, just some glows and things to make it pop, and then adding our final filter. And this is our final product right here of the first Mbappé graphic. You can see it compares side to side right here. Very different colors and compositions. Both are very cool graphics though. It's our first one and our second one. Personally love how this one came out. I love the colors and the composition, looks super sick. Huge shout out to Vlad Design Studios for the concept. But let's get into the second design. Our next graphic comes from @WFlowDesign on Instagram. He sent in this super sick Wemby graphic. I really love the idea of the UFO with the rays coming down. We're really going to play off of that. His whole brand is alien, so I think that would be very cool to play off of and sort of maybe have him being abducted by a UFO or something. We'll see. Yeah, let's get into it, guys. I started this one off time-lapse because we're basically just warping Wemby into position here to be getting abducted. I found this sketch online and I'm basically modeling his body position after this sketch, right? So I'm just warping the body parts to be fitting into this frame. Of course, Wemby's a little bit taller and lankier than the kid in this sketch, so we're gonna modify some things but basically warp it into this position. Just taking several different body parts and different head images and stuff like that to make it really look like it's all flowing together. Now we can make these pants black just to match his shirt and the uniform. Finally, we can get him added into our composition here. We found this ground image to drop in and I thought it would be perfect for this design. Just warped it into place and scaled it down. Now fading out this background. And I thought a pine tree line would be perfect for what I'm going for here. Really just help crop everything and guide your eyes. I found a bunch of images of some different clouds. We're just going to cut them out and put them into place. Bringing in some of the other clouds now, just sort of placing them into a nice position. We're gonna have a moon right in the middle, so I sort of want to just have them guided around the moon. Now these trees need to be super dark, so I just painted a solid color over them and actually lowered the opacity just a tiny bit. And then we can use that same color just to fade it in. Now we're just blending the ground, adding some shadows, the correct hue onto the ground. Now I found this image of a UFO. We're just going to place it in here. I think it's going to work perfect. And then for the UFO rays, this actually took me a very long time. It was very difficult to do. I didn't really know how to do it when I first started. But I just placed in a solid color here, put it on exclusion blend mode, I believe, and faded it out a bit. Continuously just fading out the rays, changing the hue, and eventually I got to a spot that I liked. Now adding in our image of a moon here. Just gonna resize that and get it cut out. Place it right behind those clouds. Next, doing our lighting on our UFO, just a little bit of shadows and highlights. We're gonna light up these portions of the UFO. And then some orange glow up top as well. Now I want to add some things getting abducted, some things that symbolize his career as well. Sort of symbolizing a new beginning. We're doing a bunch of French elements. I just realized too that we did 2 players from France, which was completely by coincidence. Just blending in these elements with shadows and highlights now. Now we can start our highlights and shadows on Wemby, same as we did with Mbappé, sort of, kind of, you know, a little bit of a different technique, but same overall. We're gonna add these harsh shadows, just like this. And then we're gonna add our really defined highlights onto him since that UFO light is super bright. And I decided to add in some blurred grass in the foreground just for some extra depth. here is our final product. Overall, I'm super happy with how this came out. I usually don't try compositions like this, so it was a pretty hard idea to execute. But yeah, I like how it came out. You can see right here, it compares side to side. And then here's before and the after. Our next graphic is going to be this super sick graphic sent in by Individual G. Really just love the composition here, the big cutout with the smaller cutout and an action pose and the information on the side. I think we could do something really cool right here if we add in some textures and lighting and stuff like that. So yeah, let's get into it. Starting off, I found some different type of cutouts for Patrick Mahomes. The side profile I think would work really well for this type of layout. Took the red from his jersey and made the background red, and I'm adding some shadows and highlights. Lowered the opacity on this cutout of Kansas City and added a texture over top of it. And for some yellow splash, I threw this text right behind his head and warped it into place. This small cutout is a perfect action shot of Mahomes, I thought. I added this yellow rectangle for that same color splash. Just adding in these text elements here. I'm gonna add one more big text just for that extra texture and just put it on stroke. Changing his skin tone here to be a bit more vibrant to match the scene, and then adding shadows directly after. Now we can add some highlights onto him. And I'm going to do the same thing for the small cutout. Now I'm just doing some tweaks on the background. We're basically done with this one here. Not a manipulation or anything, so it didn't take me a long time, but still like how it came out. This is our final product after a filter and everything. I love the grunginess and the texture to it. Really like how it came out here. I think it's super clean. Here is it side by side with the previous. Here's the before and after. And that's going to be it for this video, guys. I really hope y'all enjoyed this video. Let me know any videos you want me to do in the future, any ideas you guys have or anything, tutorials. If you guys want access to all my files, go check out my Patreon. I post most of my files on my Patreon. And yeah, I appreciate you guys, man. Peace.